So good to have you, Chrissy. I think you'll particularly enjoy this if you haven't come to this insight already. That's pretty cool. So in my world travels, I've hung out in the Andes Mountains, I've been in Sacred Valley, I've been to Machu Picchu, whatever the mountains are called in Peru. I've lived in the Amazon forest, I've been on the Amazon River. There's literal gold. There's just gold in the Amazon River, on the riverbanks, just like little gold dust. And we did some cool face masks with riverbank gold dust whilst we were quite deep in the jungle. And then we went down to the coastline, and then there's like these volcanoes that put down the sediment and land up in the beach, and the water of the beach removed the sand and left like this layer of mini diamonds and along the beach, along the seashore. And when the sunsets came in with the pink and purple skies, let me tell you, seeing that shimmer of diamonds along the beach was outstanding. Some really cool things. But the point of that cool story was that in my journeys around the world, we've met a lot of weird and wonderful people and done a lot of weird and wonderful things. And I'm talking about like spirituality and connecting to the higher self and diving down into the depth of one's own makeup and so on and so on. So I want to share something with you guys that came from Archangel Michael. If you guys don't know who Archangel Michael is, get onto YouTube, go get to know the the non-physical realm, as there's a whole bunch of magic that exists in it. So this insight, like I said, came from him, and it's something that I burst out in happy tears when coming across it, because it is what I will from this day forth, because I came across it yesterday afternoon, funny enough, serendipitously. It's available now for us to all talk about it and share it. And I think this will definitely make that shift in life that everyone is after. Okay, so enough build up. Let's talk about the insights. Okay, so tons of people are after this concept of freedom, and what a lot of us poor humans have been led to believe is that we are our mind and that we are trapped in our bodies. We wake up tired, frustrated, don't know where our motivation's gone, reminisce of the days when we were younger and used to bounce out of bed. We got the kids who need us, and so on and so forth. So we kind of trap our bodies and the humdrum routine, perhaps even sitting in our chairs for so long. Like, that's the extent of our world at times. So we're in our routines and we do our 9 to 5 or whatever we need to do to make sure that everything's taken care of by the end of the month. And most don't necessarily kind of break out of that. So they sold up the river that's who they are. They are the limitations of their body and the limitations of their mind. Okay. The insight to kind of skip to the end is that there is this whole other element that exists in absolute freedom prior to the mind, prior to the body. Okay. So back here is whatever you want to call it. All right. Be it God, higher self, spirit, source, anything that is all knowing, all powerful, all beautiful, joy, abundance, expansion, limitlessness, playfulness, connection, love. That's what the truth of the universe is. Okay. And how could it not be? If you look around and you look at a tree and how smart it is to go through the seasons and cycles, to lose its leaves in autumn, to regrow it in spring, depending where you are in the world. That's what we go through here at the bottom of Africa. There's divine automation in the universe. And I mean, just conceive, and I don't want to go too far down too many different rabbit holes, but if you just conceptualize the human eye and to replicate that in a biochemical way, not a with steel and plastics and stuff, from a biochemical standpoint, to replicate an eye, a functioning eye, is insane. Okay. Growing an entire human baby or body inside a stomach for 3/4 of a year, and it comes out with a tongue and its toes, and it cries and it moves and all that kind of stuff. It's insane how intelligent the universe is. Okay, a lot of people lose sight of that and they forget about it. And I'll tell you as to why that happens. So the magnificence of life, the magnificence of an automation of the universe, and how much your own body, for example, has your own back because you've put it through such torture. I've just put it through torture by having some coffee throughout your life, and it still has your back and still bounces back and still does its best to deliver, right? But it doesn't mean that you are your body, and it doesn't mean that you are your mind. In truth, you are the higher self. Okay, you're connected to the divine mind. You're a non-physical entity that's having a physical experience. Okay, so please put your beliefs down for a second and just imagine that I'm telling a story. If you don't believe me, that's okay. This is through my vast adventures into the subject, but this is what's real. Okay, so this is how the structure should actually be set up. So the divine mind, the divinity, all that is you. The frequency of joy, the frequency of love, the frequency of care and thoughtfulness and beauty and appreciation and consideration and so forth, is the truth of you. Okay, this is what happens back here. How it should flow is from the prism back in from there into the body and into the mind. This does not look good. To provide an expression of what you actually are. Okay, so see it as a speaker. Here's the membrane where sound should be coming outwards. That's the steel bit that holds the speaker together. And here's the magnet, the electromagnet, which is obviously, if you guys have dabbled in any form of quantum physics, just in case you have, the electromagnetic impulse is what gives locations to molecules, atoms, and all that is. And each location's got a signature to be where it is, because it's in relation to other things. So if your toe had the biolocation of your nose, you would have your toes on your nose and your nose on your toes. It'll be a big mess. So from an electromagnetic signature and an electromagnetic relationship to the coexisting areas around it, there is this energy that comes from an electromagnetic universe. So from a speaker perspective, we're talking about metaphors over here, we have the energy coming from the magnet and being pushed out as sound from back there and through the membrane and the speaker. So we should be the membrane and the expression of the divine mind, beauty, consideration, love, joy, expansion, and so forth. Okay? But somehow we've allowed for this looping of what we think is an intelligent mind and got the flow of truth in the wrong direction. So in truth, we should be an expression, the body and the mind should be an expression of who we are, but instead we've created over-identification and confused the speaker mechanism to become a microphone. So the outside world, namely politics, news, social media, social norms, your family, your friends, outside environments have been soaked in by your five senses, and that loop has kept on perpetuating one's reality. So we've become a microphone and accepted the bullshit in, and then created that in our bodies: fear, uncertainty, doubt, when a trade goes bad, you freeze up, and all those examples into our bodies. And our bodies have then taken that and turned it into waves of energy that exit out of us, and we therefore attract the circumstances into our lives that match the electromagnetic signature of what we are meeting outwards. And I hope you guys are following along. I'm doing my best to make it as simple as possible. So a lot of guys are getting caught up in this lie, right? They've become the microphone instead of the speaker. Okay, it's the difference between living a life of effect. We're subjected to the effect of everything else. News, martial law, COVID, whatever else. We had fun during COVID, by the way. We were on jungle islands. We walked around with locals, and I said, do you know what time the boat taxi's coming so we can go get some groceries? He said, I don't know, man. Something about a virus. And this is like 3 weeks into COVID. Like, no one It went over people's heads. So it depends on what you're attracting to your life. You obviously get in the book The Secret and Law of Vibration, blah 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 blah, you know, that kind of stuff. If you don't dabble in it, you'll have your mind blown. So the microphone has got the brain kind of looping itself around the thoughts. Like if you think about your day, you're thinking about the same thoughts 90% of the time. How often do you have absolutely original thoughts, absolutely breakthroughs, epiphanies, changes that take you to the next plateau? You don't. You worry about the bills and all the stuff that go like round and round and round and round. So that the truth of it is that the feeling of uncertainty, doubt, confusion, not enoughness, lack of energy, which is crazy, because if you realize how powerful you are, just the insanity of life, how everything comes together, like when you really get into it, it'll melt your mind. It's so magnificent. So somehow the ego kind of traps itself around. We are feeding the bullshit into the body, and then the body is magnifying that and bringing the circumstances back to us. And this is how I can tell in the writing of how guys react to markets and their approach to things. I can tell immediately who's going to create a business size too big, who's going to run into losses, or alternatively who's going to go the distance, just by the wording that they use and their responses and their mannerisms and so forth. I just popped on to I don't know if I'm allowed to say certain things, but I'm going to anyway. I just popped on to the non-VIP members chat on Parabolics to drop the Zoom link, and some dude just shared Slipknot partners with Sandbox to create Notverse. I mean, do you guys think this guy's going to be like, I don't know. I don't want to get into semantics, but to this point, I myself back up away from freemium people because their mindset and their hooks are toxic, because they have become the microphone and they have allowed circumstances to bully them around, and those circumstances to bully them around enough for them to take ownership of their own bullying inside and then perpetuate those realities into their own life, and therefore try and drag others down to be like, help me, help me, help me, help me, help me. I'm in this prison of my own doing, or not the prison, the paradox reality of entanglement, but I'm basically inside this knot of limitation, and I want to do whatever I can to get out, I think, because I'm confused, and so on and so on and so on. So when there is like this feeling, like this empty, like this sinking feeling in your stomach, it's your body saying, this is a lie, this isn't real, this is bullshit, this is an illusion. When the government says, hey person, you may stay on my land, which I own, which is stupid. I mean, try to tell an elephant, like if you could have like a conversation that the government owns this land, like everyone would be like, tell the government to jump away because this is bullshit. Anyway, so in the laws of the universe, nothing is owned. Okay, we all experience and share, and I don't want to get too woo-woo over here, but the illusion of having to put 40% of your hard-worked money in the hands of the government so they can fix potholes and have a super efficient service providing department for your requirements, and that kind of stuff, basically steal your money. It's just ludicrous. Tax is ludicrous. Paying for energy is ludicrous. The delusion and illusion that we have bowed ourselves down to, it's embarrassing, all right? And it's allowed to happen because we've made it our own, and we've turned these realities into what our life will they become. So what has this got to do with trading? Okay, so when you get into the mindset of trading, I'm not asking you to be one of those entrepreneurs who are just about the hustle and they've got the magic blueprints, and you do this one thing and then your life will change around, and all of a sudden you're going to have a 10x figures and 7 figures per year and blah 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 blah. Like, life does not work that way, and enough people have been scammed in those kind of environments to realize to stay away from them. Okay, I hate entrepreneurs and so on and so forth. So we've got to like this kind of breaking point now where enough people in society are seeing through the veil. Okay, I for one do not believe in government. I do not believe in restriction. I do not believe in borders. I do not believe in paying tax. I do not believe in slavery, if it's debt slavery. A lot of people have more money than they have money. All of that shit. In an abundant universe, we have connection to unlimited amounts of resources. I'm not talking about gold and minerals. I'm talking about just water and air, and I can go down that road, but I won't. Handbrake, redirection. When you get into a place of truth, you stop lying to yourself about the bullshit. Fear, uncertainty, doubt, lack. This is the last trade I have. Yeah, it's all crap. It's all crap. It's all being a microphone and not a speaker. So in terms of mindset, I'm not saying be a hustler, be stringent, have a trade journal, There's certain tools that will help. What I'm saying is get the flow right. Get truth right. Operate from a place of knowing, of trusting yourself, of expansion. For those who don't meditate and do yoga yet, it's not too little too late. Do something good for yourself and eat clean, do yoga and meditate. If you just do those environments, you're going to start seeing your life exponentially get better. And why is that the case? Is it because you get loyalty points at your nearest Starbucks for doing so? Or is it because you get a discount on your electrical bill for doing so? No. It's because what you're doing is you're taking away the blockages of what and who you actually are, and from a non-physical higher self, God self, source, Buddha, Krishna, Jesus, whatever you want to call it. I'm not saying that you're Jesus, but I'm saying you're connected to this divinity that is far greater than you could ever conjure up yourself. I mean, try and make a heartbeat, all that jazz. Impossible. So connect into that. All right, breathe into that, and that's why breath everyone can do. Otherwise, you're dead. And alkalizes the system, and that's why meditation works with breath. So there's not like all this heebie-jeebie stuff. This is physical science and auric fields and all of it combined. So get into your divine mind, and how you can do so is stop the rattling of the speaker of perhaps a screw getting loose and jumping around the membrane, and that rattling sound making you believe that you are your mind, you are your identification, you are your social ID number, you are your tax number, you are your body, and that's it. You're far greater than that. You are an expression, and what is meant to be an expression of joy and care and love and fun, and all the stuff that kids should normally have naturally before it gets stripped away from them because of schools and competition and stupid shit like that. So lean into that. And when you lean into that, you realize there is absolute freedom. There's absolute abundance. There's absolute unity. There's absolute connection. There's absolute. And from there, and leaning into that, and by meditating is just telling your brain to shut up for a little bit. Or doing meditation, doing yoga, just to free the body from its normal heavy chemical toxin buildups that could be coming together on your shoulders or your lower back or whatever you have to suffer with throughout the day. Just freeing that up and eating cleanly. So yes, of course, I'm sure you love your wine, I'm sure you love your steaks, but by reducing that stuff, not to be a better person and get social credits so that other people think you are a goodie, or your church loves you more for it. Do it to create a lesser signal break between you and your experience. Because sure, drugs, non-sleeping, excess work, overpaying your taxes, working 2 jobs to kind of get a life, that living as a microphone is what you're going to perpetuate and keep on doing so. And it's fun for some and all the rest of it. But when you stop doing that, when you let go of the breaks and frequencies and do what your body's just built to do, drink clean water, eat green veg. Like if you think of planet Earth, like trees offer in abundance. Trees are here in service, especially fruit trees. They offer in abundance. That in itself should get you inspired about stuff. They just give all the time. In season, they just give. Ask for nothing back. Bit of water, bit of sunshine. They just give. All right. So we've got all these like amazing beings around us. But yet we're going for like Lay's and Oreos and Coca-Cola or some stupid shit like that. It's ludicrous. So what does this mean to your trading experience? To get free, stop identifying with the bullshit, 90% of the thoughts that keep on going back and back and back and back and back. Give your body a break. If you're someone who sits down too much, all that kind of stuff, I'm not a fitness coach. I'm not someone to motivate you to go to gym. Even gym is hilarious. You feel good for going to gym 50 minutes a day of a 12-hour day. That ratio is not a feel-good ratio. 1:12 is not a good ratio. It's so messed up. Anyway, so let all of that go. Realize the reason you're here is to express what you intrinsically are. And there's I don't know if there's a camera over here. What I normally do is I do like this dove thing where I connect my two thumbs together and I put that across my heart and my chest. When you give someone a hug, this is what essentially you're doing, is you're connecting this feeling of solidity and self. And then I take 2 steps back just to get out of my current energy and go into my mind, into my soul. And then I kind of release. I see what's happening there from an energetic signature, and then boom, I step into whatever now moment I need to. Especially when the kids are making me kind of hostile because they're tired and they're crying and they need stuff and this isn't working out. I do it then especially, and then some. And it just amplifies your life because you're getting into truth. I'm operating from causality instead of effect. I come from a place of intent and instead of someone else's reality. So by realizing who you intrinsically are and allowing that to come through, you don't even have to do anything really. You just allow it to come through and let go of the lies. Let go of the lack and doubt and scarcity and limitation. And that's of course where it ties into trading. When you let go of that, one second, some air trapping there. Then you start seeing things differently. And then opportunities start opening the doors, and then life starts opening itself, and then you got this web of serendipity and miracle. Like, we should not be alive with the amount of things we've seen and done after traveling through South America. It is literally wild down there. We've been to the European and Western countries, and that's great. But when you survive South America for 4 years, beach camps, Amazon jungles, insects, animals, public transport, no one's got Uber, Airbnb is scarce. Like, you really got to hustle, man. Anyway, so if you get through all of that and then some, and COVID and blah 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 blah, you come to realize that the only way to win with this game called life is to allow it to come through. Because if you put too much onus and pressure and responsibility to your own mind, which should be a feedback loop as to how things are going from your expression self, instead of a decision maker, instead of someone who's got all this pressure on it. Like when you go into flow, and all the guys in the life coaching course talk about this, when you get into a state of flow, and when you get into a state of self-trust, when you just do things automatically for some reason, like, aren't the results so much better than you could have created planning all of that your own life? Yep, of course it is. So once again, get the flow right. See it as a prism. See it as the electromagnet, maybe like a meter behind you, and express that into the real world, which will then in turn create the electromagnetic doors to open up into new realms of possibility, new realms of expansion, new realms of experience, new realms of possibility for your family, and continue to do that. And when things get a little bit hazy and when things appear to bring in limitation and doubt, say, I recognize this. You're trying to turn me into a microphone, you dick. And then take back your power, man. Go back into a place of allowing. And life's not meant to be perfect, otherwise it'll be dead boring. So if challenges come up and you get lost, see, lost is a great thing. Be like, okay, cool. Well, I would never have put myself in these circumstances if I had the option to, but I have a new opportunity to experience something different. Come from a place of abundance, unity. You might be able to hold someone else's hand and pull them up along the way. My voice is getting a bit husky now. And come from that uniqueness. So allow, okay? So allow and be in truth. Don't sign up for the crap anymore. Governments are bullshit. Global control, the new world order, the sneaky stuff. I mean, they're really gross. From child trafficking to all the stuff that they got up to, they do not deserve our confidence or our trust. Let me tell you that much. Just come from an expression, and then come from an expression, and come from an expression, and lean back into yourself. Trust yourself. Be with yourself. And if you're feeling depression and stuff, it's all a lie. It's a lie. It's a signature that you've embedded, you've planted into your body to give the depression experience. The electromagnetic signature, you put into a parcel and like a pill, boops, put it into the signature of your body, and you're looping. So if you're in that space, or if things are looking tough, let go of it, man. Just let it go, let it out, heal, let it out, heal, let it out. Bring yourself into freedom, boom, and let it shine through. Freedom, true freedom, let it shine through, let it shine through, let it shine through. And then let me tell you guys, that will show up in your trading, it'll show up around you. And if you start to keep that going, keep that loop, you're going to see your accounts really flourish. Like, this is when you get from $100 a day to tens of $1,000s in a week, to trading for everyone else, because I look onto you as this person who is like the king of the tribe, who can provide. And you've got the mechanism to go to an institutional setup. So, all right, cool. I want to trade up to $400,000, and I can do that in my name, and I can do it then in my spouse's name, so that becomes $800,000. And I don't want to like create this unrealistic image. Like, running out of time, we've got 10 minutes. So what I'm trying to say is that it takes work, and all the stuff you already know. It's not overnight, and don't want it to be overnight. Let it be an experience. Enjoy the growth. I tell my guys always that it's the journey that's the destination. Enjoy the journey. Don't try to get to being a millionaire by the end of the month. Where's the fun in that? You just go overspend. It's very stressful to have lots of money because you just realize how expensive everything is. And you start living at a certain level, you're like, oh my god, I can't believe I just spent that amount of money on that. That's so stupid. And then that. So being rich is it's stressful as well. So don't push for that too soon either. The journey is the destination. So really live it. Really enjoy that. And when you're in a state of lack, when you're in a state of confusion, when you're in a state of doubt, go back into truth. Go back into to true freedom, to who you intrinsically are, and allow that to express outwards, and allow that to express outwards, and allow that to express outwards. And when challenges try to turn you into a microphone, you eventually build up the skill to like just laugh at it. You're like, it sounds like a you problem. It's not a me problem. I know what the truth is. I'm here to express love, joy, expansion, and to bring my communities and my circles of influence into a higher state of awareness and a higher state of consciousness, and not just bow down to external factors bullying me around. And if you're in Australia, you know firsthand what it's like to be bullied around. If you're in America and you're in anywhere near major protests, or just other people who just kind of bully you because they've become microphones and accepted the crap that mainstream media has conditioned them to believe, then this has come from a place of freedom and truth. And you just unlatch yourself away from them. And again, like, I take pride in the fact that we don't have a free group. I take pride in those around us who have invested in themselves to get to a certain position where we can all resonate in a place of, I'm willing to go the distance, I'm willing to do what the work needs to be done. And it only becomes work if you're not having fun. And I love trading, so it's not work for me. Trying to learn how to market on social media, that's bloody work for me. I hate that. All that other stuff's work for me, but trading itself, I love it. So hanging out with people and just living our best life, and growing and expanding and celebrating birthdays and marriage announcements and the milestones of a global community is what our future selves need, and what our kids need, and all that beautiful sub story, because it's guys like us that lean into it being okay to be incredible that actually makes it okay to be incredible. You don't have to be embarrassed for being awesome, and you can walk around proud to be like, I'm not going to be affected by the lies and the illusion. I know the truth. I'm going to keep on delivering the truth, and I'm going to keep on being kind. I'm going to keep on, and all the rest of it. Not for the sake of being kind, or because there is a, what do they have in China? A social reward system where you build points to get tax deductibles and that kind of crap. Stuff all of that stuff. Like, just lean into the truth, and all of a sudden the lies can't touch you. When you're in a state of love, fear can't touch you. And when you're in a state of love and abundance and expansion, and it shows up in your trading, you have a lot of fun. Okay, if you're into surf towns and sunset sessions and all the stuff we've done, like, we've lived it. We've got the photographs and all that kind of stuff. We've been blown away by nature. We've been blown away by serendipitous situations of meeting people from across the world that were absolutely perfect in the now moment, and they were traveling and we're traveling, and then this insane stuff happens, and then delivering 2 kids. Like, because of my faith in the non-physical realm, the fifth dimension and above, if you guys understand anything to do with spirituality and different dimensions and angels and all that kind of stuff, because of my sheer belief and connection and love and direct relationship with the non-physical, I quite confidently delivered myself, just my wife and I, no doula, no ambulance outside, no hospital bullshit, just the two of us, both of our kids. One was in the volcano region, the cloud forests in Panama, done over there, and then just 9 days ago we delivered our baby daughter, just the two of us, because we know truth, because we know that we're not going to have our freedom pulled away from us because we've signed into this fear matrix that something can go wrong and that you have to have a C-section, and I won't get into it, all that crap. The divine nature of one's body is super intelligent. So we lent into that, and the result means that we haven't got vaccinations in the bloodstreams of our kids. They haven't got the trauma experience of being pulled away and put into a ward, and my wife having to stay in hospital just in case for 4 days. But the just in case is just racking up heavy levels of debt and transferring a ton of money out of our holding into that of a private hospital and to doctors unnecessarily. We've actually got a doctor's friend, I think the time should be ending soon. We've got a gynecologist nurse who's been with the gynecologist for many years, and she said, good on you guys for having the bravado to deliver your daughter yourself and your son yourself, because the gynecologist doctors at private hospitals for C-sections and such have to fill a weekly quota like a salesperson. They have to sell their product, aka C-section or whatever crap is unnecessary, and to keep that room within the private hospital. So you tell me how many C-sections and so on was actually needed. So again, that was becoming the microphone. We didn't allow that to happen. Instead, we lent into our power and we just did it. And our kids are divinely happy. My boy, you should see him. He's like 18 months old, somewhere around there. I'll lose track. He is a tower house. When he walks into his play school, he towers everyone else. He is so strong. He is so smart. He is so capable. I mean, just to dress him in the morning, I have to like push-ups and go for a run around the property to build up the strength to try and combat those little legs that go across. He's so strong. And that's because I understand truth. Okay, and truth is that we are far more than we give it ourselves credit to. And how that translates into our trading is that we come from a place of abundance. We come from a place of self-trust. And you can come from a place of just listening to when the right opportunities are. We've physically provided that opportunity for you to see when the market is ready through instruments such as the TTI, and then that range point identifier and so on. So we'll have visual representation and a logical representation of when to get in, and doing the MTOPS criterion, which is probability mathematics, which you'll learn. So we have the tangible, visual, interactive way to essentially connect what your divine self, your abundant self, is trying to give you. And then that pathway then creates the reality that you deserve, aka you living at your full potential. And when you come from a place of expansiveness and consideration and contribution, and it's a small thing, it's not just money and charities and that kind of stuff. When you come from a place of conscious contribution, and someone else does, and someone else does, and someone else does, you're starting to create this upward spiral, which nothing, no martial law, no government, no bullshit can interfere with. You come back from a place of love, and come back from a place of true organic freedom, and lean into the laws of the universe. The laws of man and the fabrication of the bullshit here will move its way. I've got stories for days. I would love to tell you about this sometime. But what the message today is: be the speaker, not the microphone. Allow for your divine mind to come through as an expression. Don't get wrapped up about your stop loss being hit and your account getting less, and you feel like you need to make money now, and you're racing into the market from a gamble perspective, as there's not necessarily how it should be. And by believing that lie, you're perpetuating that lie, and you're allowing that lie to become your reality, because you have dropped that into your body from an electromagnetic perspective, and that will create your reality. So avoid that noise, put your mind to rest, allow your body to be incredible guide to nature, be the best versions of yourself. I think we have a few seconds left. I just want to quickly look at the chat because it's going to go real quick. Awesome guys, thank you for such beautiful words.